Hello, welcome to another unedited video with the Rosy Life. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos, and thank you for sharing my videos and my content with others. I can't even tell you how much I love you guys. When I hear your comments and read your comments, when I hear your comments, when I read your comments, or your emails, or in session, you guys tell me that you're letting others know about the channel. I just want to tell you thank you so much. I really appreciate you. That's like the biggest compliment, to have that word of mouth, right? Of like having you guys spread your love and sharing it with others, pointing them to the Rosy Life. That's just like a big compliment to me and big honor to hear that. And so I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys so much. You're helping the channel grow, and you guys, we're all doing this together, right? And we're all leveling up together, and it's so fun. Okay, just gonna take a breath. Okay, today I want to share with you, just got off a call with one of my Platinum Program members, and I asked her if it was okay to share just a little bit of what she shared with me, because today was our fourth session, I believe, either fourth or fifth session. In that program, I see everyone weekly. We work together for 6 months, and at the end, there's an in-person retreat with me that we do, and once a month we do our monthly book club meeting. But why I wanted to share her story, because you guys are going to really like this, for all my little, I'm a logical thinker, I'm an analytical thinker, I'm very literal, or all of those explanations, and I understand this in a logical level, I understand this conceptually, I understand this intellectually, I understand it, and that's how you are seeing yourself. You guys are gonna like this video. These are for all my little analyzers, all my literal people, all of those who call yourself literal analyzers. We're going to talk about this because today she shared with me that, I don't know why I'm holding my pen. It's okay. But anyway, today she was sharing with me, when I had the first session with her, one of her first questions was, Rose, how do I be? She was really wanting to know how to be. She was wanting to understand this logically, like many of you, right? She says, how do I be? You're always saying be it, be it. How do I be? And she had, she told me all the things that she wants to manifest. And she's in the medical profession. And so she sees things in metrics and numbers and spreadsheets and data and stats. It's part of her profession too. So the funny thing is, today's session, which was number 4 or 5, one of the two, my girl's smiling ear to ear, because she's beaming with understanding, spiritual understanding. She's beaming with it, because just last week, you can tell she was struggling, and she was like starting to become more aware. And she says, today, she says, Rose, I get it. I get why you said from day one in this program that we're going to focus on I am. That's what we're going to be focusing on this whole time together. And she said to herself, after the call, she said, after that first call, she says, I don't understand how that's going to do anything. I don't understand how that's going to change anything, or how I'm going to manifest everything that I want. I don't get it. She's like, what's that going to do? And today she says, I get it. Because last week I asked her, I said, instead of focusing on something, a specific manifestation, a specific thing that you want, I said, how about shift your complete focus to just contemplating, not in any specific way, just contemplate. And I say contemplate, it's just kind of like this. Staring out the window. That's contemplating. Okay, let's not overanalyze this. That's contemplating. Okay? I said, contemplate on I am, that you are all that is. I am. Nothing in particular, just I am. And she said, okay. She did it today, beaming from ear to ear, saying, I know who I am. And she said, she said, it's crazy the amount of things that are happening in her life. And she said, I just think of something and it's there. And she says, and I have done nothing other than contemplate on that I am. I am. I mean, she said she was giving me all sorts of examples of things that are going on and that have happened, and with her job, with her family, with just all sorts of things. And she said that, and she said, I just feel so good. She said, I wish I could show you how I feel inside. And I was like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I get it. I said, I see it. I feel it. I know it. And I thought that was so cool, because this was coming from someone that labeled herself as analytical. And she said it has nothing to do with analytics. And with her in our session, I shared with her what I'm going to share with you is the backstory of Matthew, one of the disciples of Jesus. And Matthew was a tax collector. And he collected taxes. He was Jewish and collected taxes from the Jewish people for the Roman Empire. And he was paid very, very, very well to do that. So he really believed in counting money. For him, that brought him comfort, to count money, to count his evidence. If I could see it and count it and measure it, then I know it's true. It gives him comfort. So he really loved counting money, collecting money, keeping logs of money. It gave him comfort. But when Jesus asked him to follow him, he gave all that up. He gave up all the money counting. And in turn, it looks like he just walked away from being wealthy to be poor, just to follow some dude in the desert. It looks like that. Oh, what a martyr. Oh, poor. No. Matthew gave up all the counting and all the evidence and all the cash and all the, I got to see how much I got in before I make another decision. He went from thinking he had it figured out, because he couldn't understand how these miracles Jesus was doing. He couldn't understand that. He couldn't count how those things happen. He couldn't measure scientifically, numerically. He couldn't measure the miracles that Jesus was doing. And it bothered him initially, and then he gave it all up. He gave everything he had known and all the money he had to follow him, to follow Jesus. I am. And what he found was the kingdom. And I love it. I love it so much in that show, The Chosen. If you haven't watched it, I think that's an amazing job that they've done. Since I was a little girl, my mom put on all of those shows. I think were made in the 1950s, the original ones, like of the 10 Commandments, of all of those. And I used to be a little kid, and I used to freak me out, right, with some of the scenes, because I was a little kid watching this stuff, right? But those dealt with like the whole Bible and all of that. But The Chosen deals specifically is made to talk about the story of Jesus. It doesn't go back from Adam and Eve and the story of Moses and all of those. Those are the older Bible shows. The Chosen specifically is about Jesus, which I love, because that's the Christ consciousness. They're talking about the I am. So, and I love the portrayal that they do of Matthew and all of the disciples, actually. But what I love watching is that even though Matthew was analytical and tried to logically figure everything out, And including with all the other disciples, they all represent a different state of consciousness, like I've said before. And I'll continue going through each disciple, if you guys like, and talking about like their story, and not just their meaning, but their story and how it relates to all of us, because we all go through all of these states, because they're all us, okay? But what they each can represent, different parts of us, or rather a different state of us, and that we can be into and not, and come in and out of if we want to, whatever. But the ultimate, right, is I am, is God, is the awareness of being. But with the story of Matthew and all of them, I love how Jesus just says, follow me. He's like, come on, let's go. And he doesn't care what they're doing, even though everybody like looked at the tax collector Matthew as an a-hole for doing that to his own people, right? Jesus like, just come on, let's go. And he just accepted them. Unconditional acceptance, the way they were. And they each had their own little thing. They all had their little thing, okay? They all had their little thing that they were struggling with, that they were, like judging themselves for, and allowing others to judge them, and seeing themselves as bad, or, not enough, or not worthy, or whatever. And Jesus like, I don't care. Come on, let's go. Let's go play. And because he knew that even as analytical as Matthew was, and how he was trying to always count everything, he was like, it's okay. Because Jesus knew he'd drop it. He'll get it. He'll get it. That the money that he thinks he's walking away from, that ain't shiznick compared to what he really has. That ain't shiznick. What you think you can count in your hands, or your bank account, or the manifestations to how many you've done, or what you see, that ain't shiznick compared to who you really are. And so remember, your I am source accepts you unconditionally and never tries to change you. You don't need to be changed. If you think that you're analytical or logical or emotional or whatever you judge yourself to be, and you think that you need to change that self-concept about yourself, you don't need to change anything about yourself. You don't have to stop trying to not be that. In fact, stop trying to not be analytical. Stop trying to not be logical. Those are just labels anyway. We'll get to those in a second. Instead of trying to not be those things, it's about you recognizing that you're greater than the analytical mind. You're greater than your tendencies of your human characteristics, your traits, your personality traits. You're the greatness. You're greater than that. And that is what Jesus was showing all those disciples, is that, so what? Doesn't matter what you've done. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter what your personality, your hereditary, your genetics, what you did, you didn't do, what you know, what you don't know, what you think you're educated, not educated, whatever you think you are, you're not. So what? Come on, let's go. Let's go play. Because awareness, God, sees you as perfect. No matter how you see yourself right now, awareness sees you perfect. That's love. Love is unconditional and complete acceptance of who you are right here, right now. So instead of trying to change yourself, you want to recognize who you are, that you are that greatness. And that's what my client did, is she chose to contemplate on her awareness as God, as I am. That's it. And what she discovered is she's much greater than all the analyzing, all the being literal, all the trying to understand this logically with books or videos. She was trying to understand this in a way that she was judging herself, as she was really trying to get this really, really, really hard. She was trying so hard. And the moment she just turned to, I am, she was like the heavens open up. She's like, oh my God. She said, I was trying so hard and it's not hard. It's just literally being still. And we kind of had a lot of laughs today, because she was telling me, she says, I don't know what it is. She says, but I had a lot of bathroom aha moments this week. And she says, and I'm laughing because they happened in the bathroom. And I laughed and I said, that's so funny. I said, because that happens to me too. And a lot of people pride themselves in worship sats, meaning in bed, like when you go to sleep at night or when you first wake up in the morning to do meditations on a special little pillow in a corner of your house, or that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but and the other part is trying to be God, trying to be I am, trying to be awareness, trying to stay in the state of your wish fulfilled, trying to stay in I am, right? What she realized is whether she's on the toilet, or she's taking a shower, brushing her teeth, putting her makeup on, cooking a pot of chili, she's always God. She's not having to chase it down and look for it. She recognizes she's always I am. You are always I am. You can never not be I am. You don't have to try to stay in the wish fulfilled or stay in a state. You always are. And like this client said, she said, even in the bathroom, she's like, it doesn't matter. She's like, I had so many realizations. And I said, yeah, so it's probably because you were still. Because there's a lot of stillness that happens in the bathroom, right? Just like in bed. So it's not about where you are. It's just about that contemplating of who I am. Contemplating, I am all that is. Just like that. Just like that. That analytical mind will eat your dust when you go there. Stop trying to change yourself in the way you are. The way you are is perfect. It doesn't need changing. You're already whole, perfect, and complete. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and it gave you more peace. And that's the other thing that she said, I can't tell you the peace that I feel. She says, the peace that I have is, I can't even explain it. I just feel so free. And I said, there you go. That's it. And all things will be added to you. And that's what Jesus was trying to show all the disciples. He wasn't trying to show. He was just showing them by being it. He wasn't lecturing them. And yes, he spoke to them about the kingdom of heaven, but he wasn't telling them, you have to do this, you have to do that. Those are things that John the Baptist did, remember? He preached and said, this is what you have to do. Teachers did that too. The Pharisees, the rulers taught, you got to do this. You got to pray. You got to do this. You got to do that. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. You have to talk like this. You got to do this. That's what teachers do today. A lot of people believe that you have to script. You have to change. You have to change your thoughts. You have to change your beliefs. You have to sit down. You have to do it laying down. You have to do it for 5 minutes. You have to do it for 15 minutes. You got to do it 3 times a day. All of that. Instead of just being, be still and know I am God. That's all this client did. That's all that a lot of you are doing. In the comments I'm reading, I'm trying to keep up with all your beautiful stories and posting them in the community tab on this channel and in your emails and all of that, right? I see your questions. I may not be able to get back to every single one, but I promise you that all my videos are answering all your questions. I know it. I know it to be true. All right, you guys, I love you, and I appreciate you guys again so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.